Alright, here we go. This is a custom 1v1 on Duel between the green player in the left-hand corner, Valinor, and the Steampunk Helix, and his teammate. I was about to say his partner because they are pretty much, you know, teammates. Did I say teammate again? Okay, opponent. Wow. Messing with my mind. But yeah, his opponent, the blue player in the bottom right-hand corner, Boomhower, in the Tomcat Striker. Valinor with his 2 tournament cups. Boomhower with none of his 3. The only player with 3 tournament cups, and they are all in different categories, 1v1, 2v2, and 3v3, as Boomhower is the only one that has won a 1v1 cup since there has only been one official Carbon-sponsored 1v1 tournament. But yes, Valinor now has some sergeants in defense, not really defense, but using them pretty much to stack creeps, and will put them down in defense. Yes, Boomhower bunkering with jumpers. And now going for, I guess, a little bit of harass with these jumpers, going for some moneymaker kills. I don't know if he'll be able to get it with sergeants defending. He does realize that kind of does grab one of the jumpers. Maybe he will use it to assist him in attacking, but Valinor already with rockets because, you know, this is not the old mechanic where you had to level up to get your first ability, but, you know, Helix players get their rockets, their first ability, or, you know, before the game even starts during pregame. But Boomhower might be able to snipe this Moneymaker before Valinor is able to get it. Oh, he didn't concentrate on the Moneymaker. That's a little bit interesting. I'm not really sure why he didn't focus it down. And now Valinor with some sergeants going to go for this close outpost where Boomhower is already. He does catch him in the act, grabs the Moneymaker immediately so he can save it. Does land a slash, killing those sergeants very, very quickly. And now Valinor pretty much has 100% loss on this. I guess he killed one jumper in a bunker or something like that. But Boomhower already with a tech pod out, already queuing up goalies. Now Valinor starting the mid-fight unit cluster with a Longhorn, and Boomhower trying to save that Gemini that he brought out, does turn and burn and will not lose that Gemini because he will be able to bring it back, does bring it back to his forward for that mid-fight, and Valinor now starting his mid-fight cluster on the top. Oh, actually, Boomhower dropping that Gemini there. I'm not really sure why. I mean, that's a really, really interesting choice as to where to put it. I would assume that he would have tried to go for a Moneymaker or something, but almost getting finished off in the air by Valinor, but not getting killed. Valinor, oh, he's still able to save that Gemini, which is a little bit hilarious, and now just queuing up a bunch of goalies. Let's see how he decides to position them. He's just bringing the Gemini for a little bit of extra fire and coming back because, I mean, your movement speed is so fast. Okay, I think that Gemini will finally be killed now. Oh my god, Boomhower saving that Gemini. I wish we had a total units. I mean, I wish we had the same kind of info tabs that StarCraft does, because I think he probably hasn't lost a tank yet, because that's been that same exact Gemini, and he still has it in his cargo, chasing down Valinor, going for that Longhorn drop at his fort, and at Boomhower's fort, actually, and will be able to finish off a Moneymaker before he gets responded to by Boomhower in that way. Actually, Boomhower only has goalies, so he's kind of screwed at this point, and Valinor can kind of just continue his harass over and over again until that Longhorn is dead, and even when the Longhorn is dead, he can probably still keep going as long as he has enough health. Might be able to get another Moneymaker kill. Boomhower trying to body block as best he can. Does decide to fake running away. Does not get that Moneymaker killed. Boomhower able to save it, and Valinor just getting a net total of 1 Moneymaker for 1 Longhorn. And depends on how long it takes for Boomhower to rebuild that Moneymaker. Could have been worth it, could have not been. Does drop a goalie to kill a Moneymaker, which is a little funny because it's a little bit overkill. Does actually get it though, and will probably be able to save that goalie just because its survivability is ridiculous. Let's see if Valinor is able to actually, nope, not able to get that goalie killed before Boomhower comes back, and now Boomhower with a lot of goalies. Well, that's relatively a lot compared to what Valinor has. Valinor does not have nearly the firepower that Boomhower has in his goalies down there. And let's see if Boomhower can actually, no, well, okay, doesn't get killed. And let's see if Boomhower can save this goalie. It is smoking gray, but I do see him on the map coming back, does swoop it up. And Valinor will not be able to get it killed, but Valinor coming out with goalies of his own, has a tech pod on a socket, which I don't know exactly how much it shields. I know it gives damage resist. I don't know exactly how much it is. I don't know if anyone actually does, because I don't know if they actually released that information yet. But boys and girls, just know that if you have a socket on a tech pod, it does protect it just a little bit. And now Valinor moving out with his sergeants will probably start to move out a little bit further, using those infantry as meat shields, or at least to draw fire away from his main unit lines. Does set up the heavy mine. Definitely want to do that. Very, very dangerous thing to have a heavy mine right next to all your units, because your enemy can just land on it, set it off, and all your stuff can just go kaboom. But now an Archie, or an Artie? I'm not exactly sure. It looks like an Artie that Valinor does have out. Already has a Sonya out, even though Boomhower doesn't have anything out on the field, which does make sense, but Boomhower does go down to Valinor. Trying to kill something with his sword, but in the retreat did get killed. Now respawning, has a lot of bombs in queue. Does realize that Valinor has a lot of light units, not light units, but non-goalies sitting over there in that cluster. So bombs will be pretty effective. But now Valinor harassing with 2 tanks. Let's see. Okay, Valinor grabbing that lockbox. Boomhower. Oh, Boomhower actually has moved his goalies, and so they probably will win that fight. Although these Longhorn were set on capture and will be able to neutralize that outpost eventually. Valinor grabbing the second box while Boomhower doing a little bit of cleanup, and Valinor with 2 boxes in his bank, so 40,000 credits, and trying to micro these away from Boomhower slashing, but these goalies are eventually going to reach Valinor's fort. Valinor does have 2 goalies in queue and an Archie to defend, or an Artie to defend, so we will probably be able to shut down this goalie line. It is quite a lot of goalies though, but he's probably queuing up more. Yeah, he does have 4, and those goalies do take quite a long time to get to that enemy outpost, or that enemy fort. It's at that speed, and now Boomhower trying to kill the goalies, both trying to clean up pushes from the middle area, and now Valinor trying to defend. Really does need to bring those goalies out of queue. Boomhower now coming back to the fight because he hasn't been able to clean this up yet, but oh god, just 1 Gemini in defense. I would have thought that he maybe had a goalie or 2 out just so he can do that defense. And Boomhower now moving his goalie cluster back. Is he switching them to T? I think they are going to T actually, but Boomhower actually really low on life, trying to get away from Valinor, but will not be able to do it. And these goalies have reached Boomhower's fort. What does Boomhower have? He does have a lot of goalies in queue, so we'll be able to shut this down. He will be able to get pretty good blocking down. He only sets down 2 because he probably does want to bring those goalies out at a different outpost so they can get a little bit further up the map. Instead, just so he did pretty much drop the minimal amount of defenses that he needed to really survive at a reasonable health left. But now the mid fight is starting up again, but Valinor has quite a lot of units sitting over, or moving over toward the mid, and Boomhower now bringing out his goalies that he had in queue. He has another one coming out in about 4 seconds, and will this be able to stop this movement, or not this movement, but this push coming out for Valinor? Valinor with some sergeants now might be able to neutralize on this outpost, but probably going to go for the tech pod, and yeah, definitely going to be able to get it. Boomhower not able to save it, has to re-queue a tech pod. That's another 20k out of his bank. That's a lot of money. That's 1 1/3 goalies or something like that, give or take. Now we do have the goalies moving out toward the mid for Valinor, and Valinor, I don't know, I think this is probably Boomhower's game at this point, or at least Boomhower's mid, because he does have a slight advantage in goalie numbers, although Valinor moving his goalie to the forward, so shifting the fight. I would guess he might want to start, does try to chase down Boomhower there, and Boomhower now finally taking his tech pod out of queue. Will Valinor be able to take advantage of Boomhower's absence at the mid? Probably not, and there's actually probably was the reverse, because Boomhower finished off everything there at the mid with his with the goalies that he had over there, and this will definitely win with a Ratchet supporting a goalie. And what will Valinor do now? It's 41-46. It's pretty even, but Boomhower does have the positional advantage in that he has his goalies at the mid. Now Valinor trying to move his goalies up, but his goalies aren't actually attacking anything with Boomhower slashing away like that. And Boomhower now just coming out with more units, has a couple jumpers out for distraction fire, and those goalies will probably, but there are some creeps over here distracting for Valinor as well, so it's about even in terms of that. And now Valinor's kind of winning the fight actually, although Boomhower does have that melee and actually is able to kill, or not kill, but damage those Longhorn several at a time. The middle outpost now going down to neutral. Boomhower not going to have a place to bring infantry, but bring units in general, I guess, out of queue. And Valinor with does see 2 goalies on the corner, decides to turn around, go for the tech pod instead. Probably a wise decision, while Boomhower finishes off these goalies on the ground, just circling them like crazy. Valinor definitely got that tech pod. Yep, definitely got the tech pod, leaving 1 Longhorn here, leaving 1 Longhorn there, and will definitely force Boomhower to be in multiple places at once, which is impossible. So it will definitely give him an advantage in this mid fight, because well, this outpost will eventually go down to neutral, but I mean, it's not going to be that big of a deal. It will just be a slight power and income hit to Boomhower. But Valinor were able to bring a lot more goalies to this middle outpost. This is definitely meta level, or meta style 1v1 at this in this build of the game. where it's pretty much just all about goalies. Now Valinor moving his tech pod out, gonna try to protect it with goalies. Let's see if Boomhower tries to go for it. No, it is smoking. Oh, that smoke is coming from a dead unit, I think, or at least okay, that smoking black goalie. So it's not really that much in danger. That tech pod, I mean, obviously it was on a socket, so it was healing as well. Goalie does go down. Boomhower not able to save it. Kind of the only thing that stands a chance against goalies is other goalies, which is a little bit sad. Does definitely say something about balance. I guess grinders as well have a really big advantage, or not big advantage, but they are a viable weapon against goalies. But the problem is, you know, especially in this style game, you're going to see people not just spam goalies, especially if they see a bunch of grinders. They're going to start to come out with more units that aren't just goalies, and you know, the overwhelming numbers will be a little bit too much for a grinder to take care of. But Valinor has actually been able to already finish off 3 moneymakers over here. Boomhower saving his last one, and now queuing up more. Oh, does actually cancel them for more Gemini. And Valinor actually winning this fight at this point. It's 54-33. Boomhower losing another moneymaker, and Valinor is pushing up on Boomhower's corner outpost. And yeah, it's getting a little bit dire here for Boomhower. Getting pushed back even further. Forced to move his tech pod to save it. Now, I mean, is he queuing up more goalies? No, forced to queue up more moneymakers. Valinor can pretty much just do whatever he wants at this point. As long as he keeps the pressure on Boomhower, Boomhower's not really going to be able to make his way back in this fight. Because if he's just defending and, you know, obviously short on moneymakers, short on income, and short on units, and, you know, short on units, short on map control, it is just a chain reaction. And now Valinor moving in with the goalies to this forward outpost will probably get it, as he is massively outnumbering what Boomhower has. Although Boomhower does have 3 goalies approaching this middle outpost, probably set on attack. Although possibly set on capture. Valinor does land and shoot his rockets, so will soften up those goalies very, very well. And Boomhower has lost this forward outpost and pretty much losing all the rest of his units as well, because there are a lot of goalies sitting over here for Valinor. Valinor now softening up and killing a lot of the goalies, although the goalies have been able to neutralize that middle outpost. Okay, now Valinor's units taking out Boomhower here at the forward fight, and it is just a matter of time before Valinor is able to mass up enough units and make a push, or just do enough drops, or break Boomhower's will, I guess, is probably another way to say. I mean, that's kind of stupid to say, but yeah, it definitely does happen in AirMech, not necessarily to the higher tier players, but you know, it's kind of a problem in mid-level play, which definitely we have to overcome. That kind of style of play to actually make AirMech one of the viable, not viable, but make it more competitive in the you know, MOBA action RTS, whatever the hell you want to define it as, in that world, so we can you know, we can get that player attention. And guys, really want to make AirMech exciting and accessible, and definitely the goal of the dev team as well. I mean, that's obvious. And at this point, Valinor, Boomhower's still replacing moneymakers, which is just hilarious. Valinor, wow, repositioning some ratchets to eventually support the tanks that reach over here, but Boomhower quick to land and slash, able to kill one already with the support of his goalies, and another ratchet does go down. So let's see how much Valinor can move over here. I don't think he really moved out with enough units, seeing as Boomhower has a lot of defenses over here, or at least a lot relatively compared to these tanks that are sitting over here, or that have been moved over here. And now Boomhower still trying to defend against Valinor. 12:55 at this point, so I don't think this will last very much longer. If Valinor just moves out all of his tanks, he can pretty much get an auto win at this point, especially. Look, there's money makers in Boomhower's queue, which is kind of funny to see. Boomhower going down to Valinor. Those rockets very, very strong. Now Valinor just needs to queue up a little bit more, move out a little bit, queuing up ratchets, which is a little bit funny. Not really necessary, I would say, as Valinor has 65,000 credits in his bank. He can probably just go straight with goalies at this point and get the win, but now queuing up sergeants as well. Boomhower queuing up the only thing that can really save him with tech pod and more goalies, you know, after that. And try and kill what he can with his sword, but now Valinor moving for the corner, moving some goalies out and moving a lot of sergeants with the creeps that they did stop as well. Boomhower trying to kill what he can over here at the fort, but it's really just impossible for him to make any progress toward winning this game at this stage. He's just so far behind, and you know, it's pretty much complete map control for Valinor. Valinor might actually even win by map control if he can take that corner outpost, because he now does have this close under his control, has a lot of tanks to defend it, and at this point Valinor just needs to mass up enough units, and really he's just kind of toying with Boomhower at this point. It is 70,000 credits to 14,000 in Boomhower's bank, so Boomhower just landing slash does get a little bit dangerous, might be finished up. Oh, okay, almost gets killed by Valinor on the way back there, but eventually this will go to creeps, as more creeps will be walking in. Valinor will be hitting the domination state, so he will, at this point they have changed so the domination state does inflict direct damage to your enemy, and now in 30 seconds Boomhower will pretty much take I think it takes about 30 seconds or 45 seconds after the initial 30-second timer to actually die from bleed. So let's see how long it takes. Boomhower with his last two goalies, one coming out now, but at this point Valinor just needs to move out and really just needs to wait, because in 4 seconds Boomhower will start to take damage, and Valinor moving out with tanks as well. But honestly, that's really not even necessary, because he will eventually win, because now Boomhower is being dominated, which I don't think was really 100% necessary. Valinor definitely had the resources to finish off Boomhower a little bit earlier. Now Boomhower selling off what he can. Nope, impossible. This is going to be it. There's too many tanks. I mean, that was obvious about, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes ago, but Valinor taking this custom 1v1 win over Boomhower. I had to click twice to get to this screen. It's a little bit sad, but yes, Valinor taking this first round against Boomhower. Stay tuned for round 2. There is another round coming up. Pretty even scores for the most part, and it was, for the most part, pretty even play styles as well. Yes, they had slightly different loadout variations and stuff like that. They had different mechs, but goalies versus goalies is what really boils this match down. Okay, I don't know what the hell I'm saying, but the point is meta is goalies at this point. So guys, you want to win? Goalies. Goalies all day. All right, guys, stay tuned for round 2. This is REY, and that is game.